you're not supposed to see that yet. Welcome, everybody. I'm John Zidar, aka the Stock Wizard. You're tuning in to On Top and Hot Live, where we talk about hot penny stocks. I normally share them with you. This is the day you get to share them with me, and we share them with everybody else. And hopefully we all catch fire together. Well, I've got a few things I need to disclose to you before we get going. Nothing serious. Just want to get us all on the same page here. One, I'm not licensed in anything, folks. I'm not a stockbroker or anything like that. I'm just a trader like you. So anything I say is strictly my opinion. Do not go trading based on anything I say. Always follow it behind me, doing your own due diligence. We are just glossing over this, aren't we? We're looking at catalysts. We're looking at information maybe posted wrong. We don't know. We're not doing a deep dive. So always follow behind me. Right. All right. Second thing, you see what I'm doing here? Yeah, that's called rocking. And it's not because I'm old and senile. It pivots. It has wheels. I might roll over there. Reason is I sit in this chair forever. God dang, I'm in this chair 16 hours plus a day. And I've been here for over 10 years. You'd think I was like this big now, just eating and sitting, right? No, I'm moving all the time. And that's how I think best. Think best, folks, is when I'm moving. When I have a serious conversation on the phone, I'm walking and talking. If I'm just chilling out with friends, I'm throwing back on the couch or the bed. This is a little bit of both for me. I'm chilling with you, but I can't do it on my bed or couch. But it is serious information too. The last thing I want to disclose is I've got a ton of energy here lately. You know, I used to drink Monster drinks. They're great. Huge things, my God, $3, $4 a piece, and you get like 2.5 times the vitamin B12 that you normally get recommended daily allowance. That's 250% increase. Well, I found these bad boys. Look at these. Yeah, I found these gummies. You take 2 a day. They've got 41,000%. I'm not lying here. Check that out. 41,000%. Let me put that in terms you can understand. That is 160 cans of Monster a day, just taking 2 of these gummies. And these gummies are nice gummies because they're not made out of hoofs. That's what most gummies were made out of before they got this new material. These aren't hoof material. And I'm taking like 4 or 5 of these a day. Every 3 hours I take one because I burn a lot of energy, folks. I really do. I don't move around a lot, but I am doing a lot. And by the time the evening kicks in, I'm burned out. And that's when I get to relax and do my stuff, and I got nothing left for me. So I'm a little wired. So if I'm moving around and bouncing and talking fast, maybe that's why. I don't feel it. I just don't feel tired. I feel like I'm ready to go, like I'm 26 years old. This is outstanding. All right, folks, my homies are all here. You got me all revved up. You've brought me my tickers. So I've got a whole bunch lined up here. And hopefully, maybe we'll have some time left over to look at some that you guys have dropped in during the show and even before the show. I see a few of them here. Mark Ryan brought in DTCK. We might get to that. Stephanie Spear. Hi, Stephanie. VHAI. Maybe. OB87 here has got AZI for us. I think Penny Stalker had one for us. Yeah, TWOH. Oh, I've had that stock for a long time. That's the other thing. If we happen to talk about a stock that I own, I will tell you that I own it. Not for any reason except it's the law. I've got to disclose anything I talk about openly. If I get paid by anybody to talk about these stocks, I got to tell you. If I'm related to anybody in the companies, I got to tell you. Ain't none of that happening here. But I do own TWOH if we get around to talking about it. All right, I'm going to hide this guy because he's a pain in the butt. I don't know if you can see him or not. All right, I am all set here. Yep, you're dizzy with me. So let's jump into this. You can see me. I can see you. Nobody's screaming at me. Is everything okay here, folks? If you can give me one comment down there that says everything is hunky-dory, we'll just move on forward without any problems. I'm waiting. It's on you guys. The hell with you. I'm going to move on. All right. I have taken notes here for the stocks that we're going to take a look at. This is for my benefit and your benefit because I forget a lot of stuff. So let's go to the very first stock here. This is INTS. I do believe this was a monster ripper today. Yeah, we're up 359%. Wow. Oh, okie dokie. Thank you, Dino. Appreciate you, my man. Whew, that always reassurance feels good, don't it? You like to know you're doing right? I'm doing right. So, what do we got here for INTS from the underdog? This is Intensity Therapeutics. They are a late stage clinical biotechnology company fighting cancer. Their daily volume is off the charts today. They have a nice share structure and they got big news about how to destroy tumors. Everybody likes that kind of news. So, jumping on over here, INTS, this is a company based here in the US out of Connecticut. Finished today at about $1.20. May still be going, probably still is. We're almost at 350% run at 94% jump today. This is a hot penny stock in the major exchange. She's on the NASDAQ, which comes with benefits compared to those OTC penny stocks. First off, there's no transaction fees. You can buy and sell your shares with no extra fees on top of the price of the stock. Can't do that with most OTCs. You can trade these pre-market aftermarket. You're going to get the biggest runs you've probably ever seen in your life pre-market aftermarket. You never get that opportunity with OTC. There's a lot more money, a lot more volume, and a lot more rules up on the major exchange, which all play to our favor. The rules aren't for us, though. They're for the companies. Keeps them honest, keeps them in line. They're honest, our investments are safe. So INTS, what do we got for them? Well, let's see what sort of information. We'll just start and go from one side to the other so I don't overlook anything. Anything jumps into my face, I'll just go there. We're looking at the daily volume. Look at that. We're going from just under 4 million shares a day over the last 30 days to, holy cow, last time I looked at it, it was 750 million. We're now at 1.3 billion shares on the NASDAQ. That's freaking hot, folks. That's kicking butt. Share structure for this company. This will tell the tale. So we've got about 50 million shares outstanding. I don't know what the insiders own. I'm going to presume they own something. You subtract that from the outstanding share count. That gives you your unrestricted shares, which we like to term the float, the shares on the market that you and I are trading. I have no clue what they own, so I don't know what the float is, except to say it can't be any higher than the outstanding share count. So 47 million is the most it's going to be. Well, they just had 1.3 billion. Well, divide this into that. What's that? 13, 26. That's roughly 26 times every single share had to sell today so that everybody could be in the game at 1.3 billion shares. That's just amazing. Market cap for the company, we're at about $12.5 million. Is this company making any money? That's the important thing. Now, I've been having a problem. I don't know if it's them, me, or what. Some stocks come up, some don't. I'm not getting any financials, and it says something went wrong. Please try again. I don't normally get that. So this has been happening a lot. So I am prepared here. I went and found every single 10Q. There they are. 10Q or 10 annual report, 10K, so that we can get the base information here. Now, we're not going to go through all of it. Oh, please be highlighted. Let's see if I refresh this. Sometimes I can get my things to come back if I refresh. No, you're not refreshing for me. All right, let's see. These are all set up pretty much the same. So assets, we have got total assets of right there, $4.4 million. We do have to add 3 zeros to any of these numbers. That is about even with where it was at the end of 2024. 4 million total liabilities. We have 2.5 million, which gives us about 2 million stockholder equity. So we're not holding a bag here. Let's see if we can get some information on revenues. Dun, 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 dun. I thought I had this all taken care of. I lost my highlights. The company's research deficit accumulation of 72 million. Here's a whole bunch here of information. By golly, I did have this set up, folks. I don't know where it went. Let's jump back on over to the news here. The news is where we're going to get more information than the disclosures. That financial did come out a while ago. Going back to August, the company raised $6.6 million from their at-market offering, which means they got money, $6 million, but they put more shares on the market. That's always the trade-off. So that stockholder dilution we got back then. Important piece of news in August, they regained compliance with the NASDAQ minimum stockholder equity requirement. We're not talking about the price. We're talking about that 2.1 million I just showed you in stockholder equity. That saved their butt. I don't know where they got it, but that little piece of information right there kept them from going down to the OTC. And you can't do a reverse stock split to fix that one. So they're out of hot water. They've got that fixed. And then they have this piece of news that came out today. I do believe I've got something highlighted in this. You better give it to me. There it is. All right. This is a study. It is 10 years worth of information about fighting cancer, particularly tumors. Now, this is not that document. This is just telling you about the document. You've got to go find that document if you want to read it, but they've given us a lot of information in here, and it's really good information. Now, I've just found a simple paragraph. Whew, some of this stuff is deep. This will basically tell us what is going on. This comprehensive paper is the culmination of over a decade of non-clinical and clinical research. The article describes the development of a new technology to destroy tumors using molecular agents that can disperse potent anti-cancer compounds within injected tumors and deliver them into cancer cells. We believe these are the first clinical results where a locally administered therapy used alone can potentially extend survival for patients with metastatic diseases. You want more information, you can dive into it, folks. More than that, you can go find this journal. They tell you what journal it is, and you can get all the information if you understand what you're reading. Maybe it is something you're interested in. So this is the big thing. Anytime you have news where people can live longer from cancers that are killing people left and freaking right, I know lots of people. The older you get, the more people you're going to know who have had cancer or died of cancer, and it's never a good thing. Ever a good thing. And we're finding ways now to fight cancer without poisoning ourselves. We are injecting little bits of uranium, if you will, inside the tumor so it radiates from inside out and kills the tumor rather than putting it all into our body, sucking some of it into that tumor. They're doing all sorts of things where they're injecting juices into the tumor, killing it from the inside, stopping it from duplicating itself. You don't kill it, you just stop it from replicating. It can't grow. That is death. So there's a lot of promise right now, especially with AI helping us. We're going to be moving faster forward. So it is exciting news. That's why there was so much volume, and that's why the stock is running. Disclosures, we already jumped into that, but of course, there's going to be more information over there for you to take a look at. So let's go take a look now at the chart for INTS, which is really where all the fun begins. Are you following me? You is. All right, bringing up my charts. Closing all the other charts. Lots to look at here. This is always too big when I come here. I never just have one chart up on my trading platform. This is Thinkorswim, by the way. The only place you can get it is from Schwab. It's absolutely free. If you want to use it, you could just get an account with Schwab. You know, you don't have to give them any money or make any deposits, and you could use it. But of course, you can't trade with it. You can't go through Schwab. This is the only place it would go to is through Schwab. And you can actually set trades using Thinkorswim, or you can go over to Schwab's page and do it. So this is INTS. She was running today. Let me kick this off further up to the right, extend to the right. Boom. As you can see, she has been in an uptrend. She was ripping when she was doing absolutely nothing. Look at how flat she was here. Now let's kick this back to a year so we have an idea of what we are talking about. She's been in a downtrend, and I don't see any reverse stock splits here. So over the last year, she's been falling, starting at $3.40, stair-stepping down some big steps. Dropped here from $1.87 down to 50 cents. Dribbled down to this 52-week low of 19 cents, and has just been going sideways, but still falling. You know, we got all the way down here to about I guess that's not. We're about even right now, about 20 cents. Now, we are in a 200 squeeze right now. It hasn't happened. Normally, these happen a lot quicker, but that is a big gap. Our falling 200 MA at the top. Price in the middle over top of the other 200 Hall, which is rising. Mine changes colors because normally stuff happens as soon as it changes direction. Well, we haven't got anything happening here until here, but this had nothing to do with our 200 squeeze. Once the price gets on top of the 50 and your 200 haul on the bottom is pushing up and your 200 MA is coming down, that is actually squeezing in on the price. It's getting very close. Price don't like it, and it makes an abrupt move up to and through the 200 normally, and you get a nice jump and run out of that. After she breaks through, you should be selling because she's normally tuckered out and she's got to pull back, and she normally comes back to the 200 or the next MA underneath it, and then she'll bounce. Well, why ride all that out? Sell after she gets up over it. Who cares how high she goes? Just take it. You just got all the way up to it and through it. Take wherever you're at over top of it. Wait till she comes back down, get back in and ride her up again. That's the best way to get a double take out of these things. As you can see, she is ripping hard here. She went all the way from 25 cents up to $1.75, which would be 700% rip. Yeah, at max gains, it sure would be. All of our oscillators are going to the moon. Every single one of them is just still pushing straight up, and our volume bar is incredible. There's nothing to compare to it. There's just nothing there. Coming on down, all the way back down. Let's just look at our, let's see if there's anything in the 30-minute. No, see, she's flat. Right on that 200 doing nothing. Today is when she got all of her excitement. Let's look at the 5-day, 15 minutes so there's not too many bars for us. She took off pre-market here at about 7:30 in the morning. She was at 28 cents and ran up to 88 cents. Wow. She went sideways at the bell, took a small dip in this channel. Notice she's not actually on any MA here. She's actually on that channel, bouncing off of it, getting on top of the 9 again because she was coming underneath it, got back on top of that 9, pushed all the way to that high of $1.74. That's what it says here. And then came back down, and we are on our 50% mark of our Fibonacci. These straight horizontal lines are my ways of trading this. Those are my supports and resistances. But normally you would have those attached to some place back here. You know, I would look for a line right there. Let me get my line. And these are all legitimate. That one right there is legitimate. And this one right there is legitimate. But the Fibonacci's are legitimate as well. You just grab the top of a run to the bottom of the run and throw that in there. And these are magic numbers. I don't know how they work. Nobody does. It's a science we can't explain. We just know it works. It's been used to create the universe, create flowers, create seashells. We use the science to determine how many of some species will be born so far down the road, how to control species births. I mean, I don't understand the science, but it works. We use it in the financial world. And when you see the price stick above the 50% mark, the halfway point, she's normally ready to climb more. If she comes underneath the 50%, she normally wants to fall more until she finds a strong MA. She'll bounce off of that MA, and then she'll start to climb again. Now, right now, we are up here at our 61%. We are on top of a climbing 200 MA, and we are at the bottom of the channel. Now, without the channel there, I would be quite worried that she was rolling over right now, that she was going to take a dip. With the channel there, I'm thinking this could be an opportunity to bounce right here up to the top of that channel. That would be your play. It may go past that, but just getting to the top of that would be a good gain, right? That would get you from $1.15 up to $1.60. Now, it's not going to go straight. It's going to go sideways for a while, maybe even bounce. But that would be the direction it would go, from bottom to top to bottom to top. So I'd be watching for that right now. That is our 1-minute chart. Everything is kind of flat on our oscillators. I see a little bit of heat there on our MACD, and our RSI is at 46, which is a little cool. But with all the volume we had today, with that big news and the journal just getting the information out, there's going to be a lot of people reading that information today, right now. So tomorrow, you may see hedge funds who've had time to digest this information want to get into it. I'm just speaking, off the top of my head. I don't know, but that's a lot of information that they just put out. You may want to watch this stock tomorrow since she jumped so hard with so much volume today. Wise words, if I say so myself. How we doing back here, folks? Give me a chance to calm down. Go, 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 Velmore says. Milgo. I'm still upset with them. I'm way down on them. Hey, Mike, how you doing? NWBO. Somehow I got into one of their chats. They're always talking up. That's that biotech. Didn't I read something bad about them just a little bit ago? I think so. I don't know. I'd have to check. Great to have you here, though, Mike. And you too, Santouche. Glad to have you as well. All right. I'm going to grab my toothpick because I don't smoke anymore. And I have a lot of issues with needing something to do. I'm used to having something dangle out of my mouth, play with my hands, so this works real well. All right, got another ticker all set up and ready to go for you. And I'm going to remember to hit these buttons so that you can follow me. This next one we're going to take a look at comes from Dino Trades. This is ticker CENN. This is Centro Inc. This is a electric vehicle and hydrogen vehicle company that sells them in numerous different countries. They've got very low daily volume. At least they did when I looked at them last. Their financials are decent. They just had those come out. And the NASDAQ has just granted them an extension, which means they're not out of hot water, but they're not in the hottest of water that they could be. So let's go take a look at CEN and see what we can learn about her. By the way, I'm over here at the OTCmarkets.com website doing most of my due diligence. I start all stocks here because they cover every single stock. It is not just for OTC stocks. If it's on the market, it is going to be covered here. Now, I'm not saying they have every single bit of information on all the stocks, but they've got every single stock. So, CEN. Centro is a company based out of New Jersey. Finished today at 22 cents, up almost 1%. Jumping about 1/5 of a penny today. Another penny stock on the major exchange. She's on the NASDAQ. They tell us here that they are a company that designs, manufactures, distributes, services commercial vehicles powered by electricity or hydrogen in Europe, the United States, and Asia. And they service various fleets and municipal organizations. Now, did they? Yeah, they've got it here, but I already got it up. I've got their website here and I found the right page. You want pictures. Pictures say everything. These are their vehicles. Kind of looks like a Ford logo. Basically, what we've got here are just a lot of different types of vans for different purposes. Most of them are commercial vans, but they're not all vans. You got flat trucks, box trucks, refrigerated trucks, whatever the heck this is, a little metro delivery, in small towns. Got these cars for young people. I guess this is an off-the-road vehicle. Yeah, they've got a lot of different vehicles. And this is for your pets, your pizza. What the heck is that? Autonomous driving vehicle. I don't know what the heck that's for, but they got that as well. So they've got a lot of different vehicles that they are selling in different countries working on electricity. Now, really, all the vehicles work on electricity, whether you're using hydrogen to create that electricity or you're using lithium to create that electricity. Right now, it is just electricity. So let's get some information now about the company. Start off with our relative volume. It's way down there. Daily volume dropped hard from about 13.5 million down to 4 million today. Share structure for the company, that's not it. Another 50 million. Again, we don't know what the insiders own, don't know what the float's going to be. Won't be any more than 50 million, which isn't bad if that was our float. As far as I'm concerned, anything under 100 million is okay. We can deal with that. Better than 1 billion shares, right? A legitimate low float starts at 10 million. We love to see those. But I'm real happy to see anything down at 25 million. That's good for me. Market cap, we're down there at about 11.5 million. Financials, are we going to get them here? Something went wrong. Yeah. All right, hopefully I got my highlights. You didn't even highlight this. All right, there's 10Q. You didn't bring it up. Well, this is irking me. I wonder if this is because they're different files. I did have all of this highlighted. And there were a couple paragraphs that you could grab right from the very top that were giving you the numbers so that you didn't have to run through all of this. Let me see. Do I have it here? Historical principles. I mean, I can use the numbers. We can do it that way. Freaking fine. We'll do it that way. All right. Revenues. This is over the last 3 months, and this is over the last 6 months. Over the last 3 months, from the end of 2024 till 2025, they've fallen. They've gone from 7.3 million down to 6.4 million. And on the longer end, they've fallen as well. They've lost about $1 million there. So revenues have dropped. Operating expenses have pretty much held the same. They're really not moving too much. They have fallen over on the long term about $1 million. Let's see here. Discontinued operations. Let's check out our assets. This gives us some idea of where we actually sit. Total current assets, we got 58 million. Total, nope, my bad. That is just current. Total current is 124 million. That's a big difference. Huge difference. 124 million in assets. Total liabilities is only 12 million. Nope, right there, 44 million. Lots of numbers here. So we are in stockholder equity. We got lots of it. We got about $80 million stockholder equity. So we're not holding a bag with this company. Things are looking pretty good on the financial side, just glossing over the numbers. We haven't gone over any big numbers here. Taking a look at the news. We've only got one piece of news here, folks. Centro was granted a 180-day extension to meet the NASDAQ minimum bid price requirement. They've already had 6 months. Okay, they were under $1 for too long. Maybe it was 30 days, maybe it was 6 months. They got slapped by the NASDAQ. They were told the investors have to get this price up over $1 for 10 consecutive days. It has to close over $1. You can go under $1 during those 10 days, but at the end, you better have closed over $1. Once you do, boom, you're out of hot water. Well, they went through their 6 months and failed to do that. We failed to do that. Now, they could have been thrown down to the OTC, or they could have been forced to do a reverse stock split to kick that price up. We're not happy with either one of those choices. Well, they appealed it, and they got a 180-day extra period, which is another 6 months. What is up for discussion right now with the major exchanges is that we do away with the 180-day compliance period and just go to a year. Right now, they're going to be under $1 for over a year at that point. They went under $1. They had a whole year to get back up. That's a year, right? So just give them a year to get it fixed. Don't make them stop and have to file paperwork and have the SEC and all them do extra work. They just want to have it go for one full year. And that's where we're at right now. And I do believe it is April 20th of next year. Yeah, boy, what a memory, right? Not so senile. April 20th of 2026 is when we have to have bid this price up to $1 and over $1 for at least 10 days. If we don't, you won't get another extension at that point. That will be the end of it. They'll either do a reverse stock split or we're going down to the OTC. So if you like this company, start pushing it up. That's all the news we got, folks. So we are, like I said, in hot water, but we're not being burned. It's a hot bath, all right? And we've got so much time before they're going to burn us. April, geez, we got like 5 months to go. So from that standpoint, as scalpers, day traders, we're not in any trouble whatsoever. But I don't see any catalysts. I don't see any reason why I'd want to get into this stock unless there's technicals. Technicals are catalysts all by themselves. And to be honest with you folks, for like 2 years there, all my videos were based on technicals. I just went looking at charts and I found charts that were breaking out, and that became a stock I was interested in. Then I'd go see if there was news to back up that move. Is there something to keep it going? Extra wood to throw on the fire. And that's how you got hot stocks from me. I was trying to predict what was going to move. Whoo, boy, ain't that tough. So I don't see any catalysts here, but then I haven't looked at the chart. Let's go see what that looks like. And maybe we've got a catalyst, technically speaking. I love playing technicals, which is really all I'm doing through the day over at Penny Boys. We aren't looking at the news. I mean, I post news in the morning from 7:20 to 9 on Twitter, on Discord, and on Facebook. I'm really not playing the market whatsoever. Everybody else is playing the market. When I get there by 9, I can see what is moving, but it's not like I'm chasing any of that stuff. I'm not looking at the news. We'll go see a chart. If it's moving, I don't go see why it's moving. Why spend the time reading news while the stock is climbing? Shouldn't I be getting in? Shouldn't I be drawing lines? Shouldn't I be finding my exit? Why be reading? It doesn't matter while it's moving. What if the CEO just got busted for drunk driving and the stock is running? Does it matter? It doesn't matter. That's my point. It doesn't matter what the news is, why it's running. If it's running on fake news, fraud news, mistaken identity, a pump and dump, it does not matter. And we don't care. What we care about is getting in time to grab some of that probable move and get out and take a gain. That's all we're doing. Hitchhiking across the country, lots of rides. And do we care where those cars go after we get out? Never crosses our mind. Why do we do that with stocks? So let's go back to a year. Let's see what we got going on here. Downtrend. She's been underneath the 200 the entire time. Year ago, we were at $1.47. Here just the other day, we hit our 52-week low of 19 cents. She's gotten close to it, but she is still a long ways away from it, and she is still underneath all of her MAs, including the 9-day MA. We had a strong pop here the other day. I don't know what got her popping, but she jumped from about 20 cents up to, well, over 40 cents. That's a 100% run. That could be why people are looking at it now. Now, honestly, when you see a big drop like this, you normally expect there to be a recovery. And that's what people look for. First is the dead cat bounce, and then you look for it to come back. But you can't expect it to come back until the MAs are close enough to the price. They're the rungs on the ladder. She can't fly up there. She jumps like a kangaroo. She has to wait for all these lines to get down to her. Then she can start climbing. So if you're waiting for a run, you're going to wait. It's not going to happen instantly. All of our oscillators are at that point of starting to work on it, though. Everything has already hit the bottom and arching up. Everything is starting to come up, except, oh my God, look, look at our RSI. It fell from 62. Well, it landed at 20 and then rolled down the hill to 16. Folks, this is the basement floor. We are digging into the soil here. We're underground. Wow, we're still underground here at 26. Frozen, total blue. We want that red. This is bad, folks. This needs to come way up. Come on down to our 6-month, 4-hour view. Grab a little more meat on our chart here. Yeah, same picture. $1.11 was our high. Now we're at least getting over top of the 200 when it goes flat. Yeah, it got flat. She started bouncing on it. Should have, could have run. She didn't. She fell again here at about 88 cents down to our 200 haul here at 50 cents. Back up over our 200, but our 200's falling. So it looks like she's ready to rip there, right? It ain't going to happen. Now, folks, this could be the punishment. I tell people this all the time. When you see a stock push over the 200 and it's falling, if it does not come down fast enough, it'll get punished. And I don't think anybody understands what I mean when I say that. Look, when a 200 MA is falling, the price can go through it, but it's going to come right back down. That's normal. And it'll come back down to where it was, where it started. But if it goes up and stays up there for too long as this is falling, it's going to slip and fall and then tumble down harder than where it started. It stayed up there too long. This thing was up there for many days, starting to push up like it had a right to break out when the 200 was actually falling. This is where she fell from that 62 cents all the way down. I think she got punished. I don't know who, the stock gods, the algorithm gods. I don't know, but I've seen it happen oftentimes. If you try to stay up over the 200 MA that's falling too long after you push through it, you'll come back down further than where you started, way further. That's a lot of lines. Let me get rid of those. Now, those lines I did draw here, I'm going to be able to use these for trading. These are my supports and resistances, right? So I'm going to be using these to get in over top and underneath. Now, they're not the only ones. There's going to be others, but those are going to be primary that we're going to be using. My oscillators right now, oscillators, whatever, they're pretty flat. There's not a whole lot going on right now. We have just gone sideways. Now, it's interesting because all of our MAs, our 200 haul, our 50, and our 20. everything caught up. You see a little bump here. We were under the 9. Woohoo, here's a rung. She jumped to it, and that was it. Bam, fell back down. Here comes our 50. A little late, but a little bigger. The bar is bigger. She jumped. That was it. Came back down. Here, I can't tell you what jumped, but look, folks, we have a falling 200 MA, a falling or Hall, and a falling 200 MA, and this went from 200 to 200 when it was sitting on top of the 50. It's like a 200 squeeze premature, but it showed anxiousness. She went from 200 to 200 from the 50. So she had to dip. She had to crouch to pounce. And that was a huge pounce. She went from 20 cents up to 45 cents, over 100% jump, and then down immediately. Folks, when you see something move super fast, just take the gains. Don't wonder how far it's going to go. Don't even second think it. You know, should I, could I, do I want to? You'll lose it. It'll go up. And as soon as you're thinking about it, it'll come back down. You've got to have trigger fingers. When you're scalping, any big bar up is a sell. Something, sell something, because big bars even out fast. Vroom, come down to at least the halfway point, even out fast. And it takes a long time to get that back. So I got a trigger finger. When I see a big bar shoot, even if it goes off my screen, I do not scroll my screen to see how far that bar went. I don't care. All I know is it just jumped big. It's going to come back down. Bing, I'm out. I sold, took my gains. It may go further. It may continue running. But look, as long as I'm taking gains, I'm not beating myself up. There's a lot of people that take the wind out of their sails because they see that there's still money to be taken and they didn't get it. And that's just greed. That's just greed, folks. Don't take the wind out of your win. Let your win be all win. You know, don't make it bad anywhere. A gain is a gain, and it just added your portfolio, and it gave you a dopamine rush. Don't steal yourself. Don't steal away that rush. 4 hours, flat as a pancake. Let's come on down to our hourly, see if it's looking any different. Very flat. Had that bounce. Solid breakout over the 200, right? That's what we're looking for. You want to see that 200 get close, the price be pushing towards it, and as soon as it's close, rip. Big rip. And when it rips, you're going to sell up at the top, and it's going to come back down, and maybe you'll get a bounce off of that 200 or the next MA underneath it and catch another bounce. That second bounce went up to 31 cents from 20 cents. That's a 50% run. That's a nice second bounce. This one was all pre-market. Coming on down to our 5-day, 5-minute last look. Nothing's happening right now, folks. And I don't see anything building up. I don't see any volume. You know, it was just this one day. And I'm not quite sure. I would have to do some more research to find out what made her run. She came down lower than where she started and then pushed herself back up to about even keel. And that's where she's at. So to me, I don't see any reason to even put it on my watch list. I know it's free, but I've got so many tickers on my watch list. I guess I could put it there, but honestly, just not catching my interest. But you wanted to know, so we covered it. And maybe I missed something. Maybe you're screaming at me right now, but John, you forgot about the merger deal. Maybe I did. That's why I say always follow behind me with your own due diligence, because we're just glossing over a lot of this. Jimmy Trail Cam Videos, Nauticus. Oh, yeah, we covered Kit last week, I think, or the week before. Yeah, all these water robot companies are going to be doing good. There's lots of things we can do now because we don't need the tether. We don't have that rope that's been stopping us from going super, super, super deep, whether it be for scientific reasons or salvage reasons, whether it be going after treasures from ships or treasures that the earth has deposited on the ocean floor. We can do a lot more now. Bump, bump. Anybody else here? No. Oh, you got another ticker there. Akabia Therapeutics, AKBA. Not familiar with that one at all. Not sure if we'll get to it either. Dino, no positions in CEN, keeps popping up on my squeeze scan. You know, that's one thing I really don't follow, folks. You may have wondered. Short interest, it's a big deal. Short interest can really knock these stocks around, pull them down. A lot of people are watching for short squeezes, which looks like a supply and demand issue. That's when stocks start going parabolic. Basically, shorters get to borrow your shares for free and sell them and make money. And if they sell them for less, they pull that stock down. And then when it gets real low, they buy the shares back at a cheaper price and give them back. So they made money between what they sell them for and what they buy them back for. And they do that with our shares. So a lot of people at the end of the day, before the day ends, they take their shares and they put them up for sale, maybe for $1 million, or you put them up for bid at 0001, these ridiculous prices, because if it's standing in the queue, you can't have my shares. They're in the queue. They're ready to have something done, no matter how ridiculous it is. So a lot of people lock their shares up after market hours so that people can't borrow them. Now that short interest builds up. You've seen it in game. Them squeezes, when the price starts going up, they lose money. They make money when the price falls. They lose money when it goes up, and they have no limit. We have a zero at the bottom. The price can fall to zero and no lower. How high can they go? There's no limit. So they panic and they have to buy shares to replace the shares that they had borrowed. And if it starts going up too high, they have to pay more and more and more and more. And that's when you get that short squeeze, and shorters start pushing it up. And I don't follow it. I don't follow it. It's just too much information. But more than that, to me, it's like following a tornado, trying to figure out when they're going to strike, where they're going to strike, and how hard it's going to be. Yeah, probably going to hit sometime, somewhere soon. I don't know. And I'm not going to spend all my time trying to figure it out. So I really don't spend a lot of energy following short interest while others do. I'm not saying it ain't important. I just don't have the energy to follow that as well. All right, let's dive on back into this. Oh, you're welcome, my friend. B87, you are darn sure welcome. Pushing my button to make sure that you're with me, putting my leash on you. We're going to bring this over to our next ticker, which is VC by Velmore. Velmore brings us the V. She also wants to look at the warrant along with this. She likes her warrants, and I'm glad she brings them up because I keep forgetting to talk to you about them. Anytime there's a company, normally on the major exchange that's hot, check and see if it has a warrant. All you got to do is put in the ticker normally, and that'll show you a whole bunch of other tickers that come up with those same letters, and it'll show you warrants right then and there. Normally, it'll have a W behind it or a /WS, though there are other ways a warrant can be shown. Those are the most popular. And if you're looking at your scanners, they'll have a date next to it, so you always know that it's a warrant and not a stock. So we are looking at VC Health. VC Health is a telehealth medicine company that is expanding and growing very quickly from what I was noticing. Very low daily volume today. They've got a real low float. Lots of news and expansion of services, especially with the United States government. Those are some long-term, huge contracts. So let's take a look here at VC Health. VC Health is based out of Florida, here in the United States. You knew that. Finished today at $1.15. She is down about 17%, falling 23 cents. Penny stock on the major exchange on the NASDAQ. VC Health, I've got a, they didn't have that over here, I don't believe. See, no website listed. Do you know that these companies can list all sorts of information over here, folks? There is company notes. I've done a interview with a company before who took my video and put it right there. Right there. My video was on this site. These companies can put up all kinds of information on these sites, and they don't. They don't make use of this. But I did find the website. Telehealth, obviously, it got real big during COVID, when we couldn't see people face to face. So we invented this, and it became very popular. We thought it was going to die away. Nope, it's going to become the way. And now with agentic AI coming into the picture, agentic AI is AI that can reason for itself. It runs into a problem. It doesn't need to ask anybody any questions. It'll figure it out. It'll find a solution on its own. And that's what's happening now, is agentic AI is being connected through data centers to all of our devices, to all of our data, so that we are going to be hooked into everything to get the best. And you're going to get it on anything. You're going to get it on your computer, your tablet, your glasses, your hologram watch, which puts it out here in a hologram. Maybe these robots that are walking around wherever they're at. You're going to have this information immediately available. And it's going to have all the information, all the different services. I can't even think of everything that they're going to come up with. You probably can't either. The more they can figure out, the more they're going to do. Was there anything else? Yeah, I wanted to talk to you about this because this blows my mind. Trusted by 1,000 plus healthcare enterprises. That's only 8. They got over 1,000 of them here. We're not going through them. But you got the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services here. You got the U.S. Department of Veteran Affairs over here. You got NASA down there. Brigham and Women's Hospital. I mean, these are big names. Trusting this company. That's going to carry them a long, long way. So I'm liking all of that. So looking back at the company's information, looking at the relative volume, it's down about 50% today, dropping from 21 million shares as an average over the last 30 days, down to about 10 million today. Share structure for the company, not bad. Outstanding share count is only 17 million. Insiders, you know, own something in this company. I know they do. We're going to have a nice low float here. Low float starts at 10 million, but hey, anything under 25 million is a low float to me. So we're in a low float zone right now. Subtract that, and we're going to be in a nice, beautiful zone. The stock didn't move a lot of shares today, about half as many as they have on the market probably, but I like this company. I don't know if she's a ripper right now. I'm going to have to get some more information, but I like this stock just seeing what I'm seeing so far. For a longer hold, I think telehealth is going to be strong. Agentic AI is going to help it. You do want it connected to everything. Market cap, we're at about 24 million. Financials, are they making money? See, something went wrong. Please try again. This rarely ever happens. So, God, and I did go through these, and these are supposed to be highlighted. I don't know why it's not highlighted. There were 2 of them there. I remember this one. See, if I go back, there's 2 of them back to back here. 10Q, 10Q. Well, this one is for July of 2025. This one is for March of 2025. But they put them both out at the same time. So they were in hot water there for a while. They were late on one of their financials. There's no A behind that. That's not an amended quarterly report. That's a late quarterly report. But we're only looking at the current quarterly report here, which just came out. Let's see if anything is highlighted here. Irky. I'm trying to find numbers. I see numbers in my head. I remember right around here somewhere. It went like from 3 million. They did 14 million last year and it dropped to 3 million this year. I'm not seeing this. How come I can see the numbers in my head and I can't see them anywhere else? All right, I guess we're going to have to do it the old-fashioned way and jump into these blue boxes. The blue boxes are always up at the top. Get used to reading them. Take your time. I'm jumping pretty quick here, but you know, you can see they're all pretty much set up the same way. Cash. What we got in the bank? Do we put 3 zeros behind these? We normally do, but I don't see it telling me to put 3 zeros behind these. So 2 million. No. All right, we're not adding zeros to any of these numbers. So we're looking at cash of about $300,000 in the bank. Okay, not 300 million, 300,000. Total current assets, we are at 18 million. Thank God for that. Total liabilities for the company, 23 million. So we, the investors, we're holding deficit there, stockholder deficit of 5.7 million. That's called holding a bag. Revenues over the last 3 months, it's dropped about 300,000. Over the last year, it's dropped about 6,000 or 600,000. So our revenues are dropping right now. We got a lot of other information in there I'm not going to dive into right now. Let's dive into the news. The news is where we want to see why she's moving or not moving. Let's see. You're going to highlight it? Thank you. Thank God for the button. So we are back to September 2nd here. The company's teleradiology expands to 25 hospitals for an estimated $3 million in annualized revenue. So this expansion right there to 25 hospitals has just added $3 million more dollars to whatever revenues they were making. There's another $3 million on top of that. NASDAQ approval for continued listing. That's good news. Real good news. Let's see here on the 21st. This was just about a week ago. The company secures game-changing $10 million teleradiology contract. It is a multi-year contract with the telehealth sector. There's a lot of information in there. I don't want to waste too much time, but it's a big contract for $10 million multi-year. The company strengthens their balance sheet with the elimination of debt. To save time, we're not going to dive into it. I don't know if it's all the debt, some of the debt. I do know any elimination of debt is a good thing. And the company has awarded U.S. Department of Health and Human Services FedRAMP High ATO. I have no clue what this is. Sounds like good news to me. I'm presuming it's good news. I'm sure it's going to benefit the company. It's probably going to benefit the country as well. You'll probably want to do some due diligence there. To save time, we're not going to dive into it. So the company's doing a lot. She's growing. She's connected. She is bringing in more revenues. She has been doing less revenues. I don't know what that is. That's what due diligence is for. But she doesn't look bad, right? And what was that relative volume? That was down. All right. What was it that caught my interest? I don't know. Brain's starting to fry a little here. All right. Let's go and take a look at the chart for VSEE. Yeah, I need to slow down. Maybe another vitamin B12, right? Or my peanut butter. I eat a lot of peanut butter. I just eat it by the spoonful, folks. You think I'm kidding. That's all I do. No crackers, no celery, just the peanut butter itself. Oh, God, do I love it. I go through a jar a week. All right, so we are now looking at ticker VSEE. We are going to look at the warrant. There's not a lot of information to look at over at the OTC about warrants. You don't look for a float. Nobody really cares how many warrants there are. What we worry about is when do they expire. You want to know when they expire because you don't want to be left holding warrants that die on you. Nobody gives you your money back. So VSEE, lots of lines here. I'm going to get rid of these lines just to make this easier for us. If someone can remind me to put these back up, I sure appreciate it because all I got to do is that, right? That's real easy. So if someone will just remind me, seriously, people used to, they would call me on the phone and I would not think that they were doing that. And I would take my phone and whip it across the room. I can't answer you right now. And then I'd see them tomorrow. I would see all these people calling me. You forgot to put your lines back up. It was great. You guys are tremendous. I really do love you guys. So we are looking at VSEE. Let's go back a year. Let's get our 52-week high and low. Well, she hasn't been really falling, has she? She's pretty much been going sideways with a little dribble downhill. We had our 52-week MA come into the picture here, which she really didn't do a lot with. We had a quick-lived high here of $3.54 a year ago, but she was actually closer to $2.30. That was actually her real high area, which is about where our 200 MA came into the picture. And then we got a 52-week low of 46 cents, which we hit about 10 days ago. And off of that low bubble, what do we got? An instant jump. Big bar, big bar. She came back down. I don't care about the come back down. I like that big bar. When I see an instant jump off of a low bubble, especially a 52-week low or a 3-week or an all-time low, to me, that signifies value. There are people out there that shop these low bubbles, and when they see one, they go look at the fundamentals, and they know what they're looking for. Quick and easy. They find it, and immediately, if they find value, they jump into that company. And there's a lot of people that shop those bubbles. So you'll see that not only bounce, but climb. It's worth the run. And sometimes it'll run a long ways. But in either case, it's worth getting into when you see 2 or 3 green bars off of a 52-week low. Now, remember, you could have a couple low bubbles, 52-week low, 52-week low. Don't get in on the 52-week low. Do not buy on a red bar. I never, ever buy on a red bar. And I try not to sell on a red bar. I don't like red bars. Red bars means you're falling. If I'm selling, it means I'm selling at a lower price. It better be a bloody put. It better be an option if I'm selling on a red bar. So this jump here is very exciting. She went from 46 cents. Whoa. See that little itty bitty jump went to over $1. That's 150% jump off of a low bubble. Boom. Those are exciting. Came back down to about 60 cents and then took off again, another 400% run from here up to $2.50. Came all the way back down with a solid, secure landing on top of the 200 MA. Boy, do I like that. All of our MAs now, 50, 200 haul, are all starting to push up. Everything is climbing. That big tug right there tugged every single MA up. Now is the time to watch it. All of our MAs are going to the moon. Volume has been here for the last 2-3 weeks. It's been getting strong. Things are looking good on the chart. I do like the chart. Take a look at our 6-month, 4-hour view. I like the chart now. For the most part, this chart stinks. There's not a whole lot to look at. Every now and then you get lucky and you get one of these pops. And these pops are going from $1 up to $2. That's 100% pop. So we like that. But then you get these big drops for no bloody reason as well. Big bounce off of that low bubble. Back down underneath the 200 and a huge pop. My God. Oh boy. Now this says, see, the numbers change depending on what chart you look at. We're here at 50 cents to $4. That's an 800% rip. God almighty, folks. And this is why I say sell on green bars, because it isn't going to go up forever. When you see something silly, something ridiculous, something powerful, something super, when you see it go parabolic and you know this ain't right, it hasn't done this before, when everybody's talking about it, you better be selling something. Don't be looking at it. Do you know how many people lost hundreds of thousands of dollars on game because they watched it rise and rise and rise and never sold anything at any point, and then watched it come down, believing it was going to go back up, come down, hoping, come down, and they're right back where it started from. And they lost all that money. Never sold anything. Folks, get used to selling on the way up. Sell something. Don't give yourself any argument about losing money because you're not taking the whole load up with you. That's the wrong way to trade. Get used to scaling in a little bit at a time. Get used to scaling out a little bit at a time. That's how traders trade. That's the way you do it so you're not overwhelmed at any one given time. All right, so we got a nice bounce here up over top of a rising 200 now. It was falling. Now it is actually rising. It doesn't look like it, but I can tell. I look at these all day. She's actually pushing up. All of our MAs are over top of it, all pushing up. Everything looks like it has a chance of rising. All of our oscillators are calm right now, which is great. When you have a big wave come through, it takes a while for the waves to calm down and the pond to get plain again, right? We're lucky this is as calm as it is. I mean, this happened right quick and she's calm again. Now, she could go back to nothing. Could easily go back to just nothing. So we're waiting for some volume to come in. That's when she moves, right? Look at the volume. That's when the movement comes. No volume, don't do anything. Not until the volume comes in. Taking a look at our, let's come down to the 30-minute. So she's dropping and bumping and she's moving around, but she's not doing anything with any determination. She's not climbing. She's not falling. She's just kind of hanging around. And we kind of hate that, don't we? We wanted to choose a direction and just do it. Had that big rip. It looks like it was virtually, it bloody well may be all pre-market. I'm coming down to the 5 minutes so I can see where that sits. It is all pre-market. So if you're not watching pre-market after market, you're missing the biggest runs you will ever see, right? Right there is your 800% run, folks. Right there, pre-market. When the bell came, what happened? All of it. All of it gone. I always say when you get into a stock pre-market, if you're taking gains, sell before the bell. Because as soon as you hit the bell, it's going to hell. Everybody who does not watch pre-market is going to see this price is now up here. What are they going to do? Go verify why it's running? Give you time to do something? Hell no. They're going to sell right now. immediately. They don't care why it's running. They're going to sell. And the next person who's drinking his coffee gets here 3 minutes later, he's going to see the price is falling, but it's way up above here. He's going to sell, and he's not going to care that it's not as high as it was, that it's going to bounce back. And you're going to get a lot of profit takers. And this just fell all day. From $4, we finally ended up here at under $1, which is better than where it started, right? That's still 100% up. So let's not be crying. But if you're missing pre-market, you're missing some of the biggest runs you'll ever see. And I think the reason for that is there's no umpires. They're still in bed. What I mean is there's no halts. Nobody throws a yellow flag for too many shares moving, price moving too fast. Halts for volatility do not occur. Halts do occur for news, if the NASDAQ needs information or the company wants to stop the stock for some reason. Halts do occur, but not for volatility. If it's going to the moon or if it's going to hell, it's going to go until it stops. So she's had her rip. She's settled out. She is now on a decline. Could be coming right back down to 50 cents from $1.17 right now. So I don't see a lot of excitement. Now let's take a look at the warrant. Now, as I said, if I put in VSEE, how come it isn't coming up? My warrant should have popped up. Can I put up a W there and get my warrant? Yeah. All right, so here's our warrant. We do like warrants because when a stock is hot, the warrant is a lot cheaper and people will play it because it fits into their budget better. This is what? We're at 20 cents and 20 cents. Now, that's not bad for a warrant. Now, there is no hardcore rule for warrants, but I've noticed most penny stocks, warrants are about 8 to 12% of the price of the stock. When the stock gets hot and it goes 20, 40, 50%, you can see the warrant do 100, 200%. If the stock is really hot, you can see warrants do thousands of percent in a day. They will just go bonkers, folks. Now, the thing is that liquidity on warrants is really stinky. It's an off-on situation. And because of that, you normally have some very wide spreads on your bid and ask. Now, don't look at them after market. A lot of bid and asks are horrible after market because people hide their shares from shorters. So you get these stupid spreads after market. But the spread can be really big. So when the stock is hot and running, you're going to see the warrant start to run on less volume. And it will move faster than the stock normally. Now, you need to be there playing those trigger rules that we've been talking about. When a warrant starts to run, you need to take gains because a lot of times it'll fall just as fast as it went up. Now, this is running nice. This is really a nice warrant. I'm not used to seeing warrants climb for days. We were down here at 2 cents. We are now up here at 20 cents. That's 1,000% run since she had her hot day. So the stock went back down from that $4 down to $1.17. This has gone from 2 cents up to 20 cents and has not fallen. Very interesting. She is above her 200 and still climbing. And oh, look at that. Oh, that makes me drool. When I see a wick, a really long wick, I normally look for the extensive to the opposite. When I see something go really, really deep down, but the bar stays up, the wick goes deep, I look for the opposite in the other direction to go high. If I see one go really, really, really high, I look for it to come down. That's what I say. A big one, it's going to fall. One that goes all the way down normally comes back up. And if it comes back up immediately, the very next bar, you can normally see it looking like a slingshot, like somebody pulled this back to shoot, and it just passes right by and just keeps on going. So I'm always watching my wicks. These big wicks can be slingshots, and if it bounces back immediately, the very next bar, right back to where it was, jump on board. Jump on board because it is passing by, and it's probably going to go another, as far as it went this way, that way. And that can be a real nice play as well. So our volume, we've got sell volume coming into the picture here, but it doesn't look like she's falling yet. Now, I will tell you the truth. I don't really chart warrants. Warrants don't really follow their chart. They follow their stock. their parent stock, but the stock has fallen. So what's this doing? It's following the chart. So this is unique. So right now she's high. I wouldn't buy right now, not at 20 cents. No, there's a very good chance this could bottom out and come all the way back down. Maybe not to 2 cents, but it could come right back down to maybe here, right in this area of 8 cents, which is a heck of a lot better than 20 cents. I have a lot of warrants I buy at 2 cents and 3 cents. I've got warrants that I have 20,000, 40,000 shares of. I'm just holding their stocks between $2 and $4 that when they hit and run $8, $12, $20 for some silly reason, that's when these warrants run to 30 cents, 50 cents, and your 2-cent warrant can make you thousands and thousands of dollars, even though it only cost you $150, $200 for all those thousands of shares you have. But as I said, you have to be very careful. These tell us they expire April 2029. We got lots of time, so you don't have to worry about these. But some expire next month. You don't want to buy those unless you're planning on selling them now. You don't want to buy warrants that are going to expire next month, do you? Right. So there you go, folks. A little bit for the warrant and a little bit for the company. You were with me. I panicked there. I thought for a minute I forgot to hit a button. Oh, God. I will go buy tomorrow peanuts. Love it. Flamingo, good to see you here. Peanut butter. I forgot what I was talking about. I see you guys are responding to me. Yeah, I'm just on the ball here. Let me see. How do we say this? Maritza Santos. Took me a little bit, but I got it. Maritza, it's glad to have you here. Oh, boy. GFX Flamingo. Loving it. Loving you too, buddy. All right. What time is she? 5 o'clock. Let's move on. We got to move a little bit quicker here. This is PC. Oh, you can't see that. Can't move too fast. Can't move too fast. Now you can see it. All right. This is PCSA. This comes from Kashira. This is Processa Pharmaceuticals. They're a research and development clinical stage pharmaceutical company focused on developing the next generation of cancer drugs, which is called NGC. It's an actual thing. Low daily volume, decent share structure, not making any revenues considering their research and development. And they are considering a crypto treasury. And this news of the crypto treasury is their first piece of news since 2020. God almighty, talk about a quiet company. So what was the ticker for that? PCSA. Where was that? PCSA. PCSA is an American company based out of Florida. Lots of information about their pharmaceutical products. I'll let you do that due diligence. Their relative volume around the company was down today from 16 million down to about 9.5 million. Share structure for the company, another one at 50 million. No clue what the insider zone, no clue what the float is. Can't be any higher than 50 million. Market cap, we're at about 20 million. Is this company making any money? You've not said a word to us in 5 years. No money quarterly or annually. No money quarterly. What about balance sheet? Hey, you notice we got financials. See, it's kind of weird. So looking at their balance sheet and remembering those 3 zeros to put behind any of these numbers, we do have about $7 million in the bank, about $8 million total assets. Liabilities is low. I'm actually surprised. That's about $2 million. So we're actually holding stockholder equity in this very quiet company of about 6.1 million. Now, taking a look at that news, they've only got one piece of news. Their last piece came out in 2020. They are thinking about getting some crypto in their treasury. They have just had a new strategic investment in the company. Who invested? They don't tell us. How much? They don't tell us. They are considering using a crypto treasury, and I like this. This is the first time I've heard this, and it's like, oh, please let this become the norm. We're looking at a pharmaceutical research and development company that has to continually come to their investors to get money. Research and development costs millions and millions and millions of dollars. And then when you do find a drug that's got to go through trials, the trials cost millions and millions and millions of dollars. And it takes lots of time doing this. So what they want to do is use a crypto treasury to earn them money so that they can pay for all that research and development and all those trials. Wouldn't that be good? Get into a crypto that's going for 2,000 that jumps up to 5,000, take all that money and pay for research and not have to put any more shares on the market and have us get diluted. That would be outstanding. So having a crypto treasury in a biotech pharmaceutical company could earn them money so that they don't have to cause shareholder dilution as they're doing their research and carrying on through their trials. That would be exciting. I would love to see this become the norm. And that's all the news they've got. Taking a look at their filings. That's all 2020. We're not interested there. And I didn't even tell you the price. I'm in a hurry here. We're at 35 cents right now, and the stock fell about 9% today on the NASDAQ. Now, we did have a new investor come in. This is amended, so this means it happened a while ago. I don't know what they had to fix, so it's a repeat. But a SC13D and an SC13G are when new investors come on board, new insiders, they buy enough shares. It's a percentage of the company that they are now an insider, and they have to tell us what they bought. Well, this is Chilla's Group, and what was the date on this? You can normally see up here. See, this is all the way back in August. So they had to fix something on this. I don't know what they fixed. But back in August, Chilla's here bought himself, or they bought 5.4 million shares. Wow. And that is 10.9% of the company, which is a big deal. 9.9% is normally the max most companies, hedge funds will buy, because over 10% is a whole different ballgame. That makes you a different type of investor in the company. They're a different type of investor. They went over that 10%, not by much, but they're over it, and it matters. So that's a big deal, whoever the heck that is. The other thing that's quite interesting here are all these Form 4s. How many are there? These are all amended Form 4s. All right, these are not amended. I want to take a look at a couple of these because Form 4s are real important. These are filed whenever the insiders acquire or dispose of the company's stock. Now, they can do that in a myriad of ways. We're interested in when they buy them or sell them because that can be an indicator we should be paying attention to. Insiders know stuff before we do, before it's released, and they're going to move before it's released. So if I see a big sale or a big purchase, I may want to consider that. So up here in the top corner, you have who the person is, the insider. This is Mr. James. He's the director. Right here in the middle is all the important information. First is your code. I am looking for a P for purchase or an S for a sale. Easy enough to remember. This is something else. I really don't know what it is. I really don't pay a whole lot of mind to it. But if you want to teach yourself, they'll tell you down here what this is about. These are stock units vested in a deal they did a while ago. Sometimes it's taxes. You never know what it is, but it wasn't a sale or a purchase. So in other words, I'm really not interested. Come over here and real quick, I look into these and I just see the code right there. If that code here is a P or an S, I'm interested. Now, I'm not going to go through all of these, but I will go through the first and the last. And they're all the same thing here. All the insiders were part of this deal. So something's going on with stock units. You want to know more, you can do some more research on it. So that's everything for PCSA. I do believe we did cover everything right. Yeah, man. So let's jump on over to the chart for ticker PCSA. You're still flying with me here. 514. Loving my vitamin B12, I am. Oh, yeah. Matter of fact, no, I got to sleep tonight. Okay. What? That's not what I said. PSCA. Why can't? Did I get it wrong? PCSA. Thanks for. Oh, who forgot to remind me to put up my lines? I'm gone now. PCSA. Doggone it. CSA. All right. I'm not going to take those lines down. Since you're not going to remind me to put them back up, I'm not taking them down. Every one of those lines, the yellow ones, I got to put up every single one manually. The white ones go up in one flurry. They're okay. I can put those up in a hurry. So we are looking at PCSA, Processa Pharmaceuticals. That's the 5-minute chart. Let's swing it back to a year. She's been in a downtrend for most of the year. Went flat here in about May of this year. We were at $1.50 at our high point. That's our 52-week high. We came down to 15 cents as our 52-week low. That was just as she went flat in May. We had a bounce showing us she was very, all right, I'm going to take them down. I can't see in there either. So we've got some excitement. Get out of there. We got some excitement going on here. Big push to the 200. I love to see when the 200 is falling and the price starts trying to get to it. That's an indicator that this may want to start climbing. It's looking for the next rung. It's already on the 50. Now it needs the next one. If there was 100 here, it may be pushing towards that. It's still going for that 200, but then it went flat for quite a while. That's like 4 months. Then we've got a 200 squeeze here, a beautiful one. Our 200 haul is rising. The price is under the 50-day MA. That's why she's not moving. She's underneath the 50 MA. Even though our 200 is rising, she is not moving until once that price got on top of the 50, and I say this all the time, your bars get chunky. They get thick. You get wicks. Once she gets on top of the 50 with a rising 200 haul and a falling 200 MA, the price will normally go to and through the 200. Once it breaks through, it needs a break. It's tired. It pulls back. It bounces on the 200 MA or the next MA underneath it and then comes back up. And if it has volume, it'll continue running. If not, it'll do something else. But this here is a play you can count on 8 out of 10 times when this setup is there. In between the two 200s, get on top of the 50, go. All of our oscillators are warm. Everything is pushing up. Everything's about ready to do a crossover. Everything is looking strong. There we go. It's even better, huh? So we're already back up over the 200. We are on top of the 200, on top of the 9, with all of our MAs rising. Everything is perfect for a takeoff. Coming on down to our 6-month, 4-hour view. Wow, look at those jumps. Loving this. We're jumping here from 40 cents to 90 cents. That's over 100% as it's falling. Came down immediately, right? Immediately, because it's a falling 200. You do not get breakouts on falling 200s, but you get rips. So when you see a price go over the 200, just get your finger ready on the sell. You know it's going to come down. Sell some right here. Sell some right here. As it's climbing, just keep selling 10 shares, 20 shares. Sell some as it's climbing, putting those gains in your pocket. You're not losing any money. When she falls, it's going to be abrupt. It's going to fall so freaking fast that you're going to go to put in your price because you're not going to want to sell market, are you? No, you're not wanting market. So you're trying to find a price chasing it. Do. Sell on green bars. You could actually sell on market on green bars, right? Because whatever it's at, it's going to be higher on a market. Think about that. God almighty. So once the 200 got flat, what happened? We had a breakout. She broke from the 50 over that 200 and just kept going. We were here at 25 cents and she went up to 57 cents. That's 100% run. Back down to the 50, a nice bounce. And then we're getting our volatility in here. Now she's hanging around the 200, hits our 52-week low of 14 cents, bounces off of it fast. Not a big climb, but she's now up there at 21 cents. That's a 30% jump back up to the 200, slowly working it. And then she took off. And I'm not quite sure what got her running here from 21 cents to 70 cents. That's a 300% run back down through everything to the 200. That's a solid landing. I know we don't like it. That's a big drop, but it's in control. It's not out of control. It knew exactly where it was going. It came back down to the 200. Now it's bounced. It's taken off, and what? All of our MAs are flat, arching, turning up, getting ready to climb. This is ready to go, folks. Look at our big wick. We got big wicks pushing up through these MAs with the solid bar staying underneath. That tells me it's ready to climb. We have a 200 squeeze opposite 200 MA on the bottom, 200 haul at the top, but they're both coming in, right? That's still a 200 squeeze. Folks, the 200 haul and the 200 MA are equal. They have the same authority. They have the same strength. The difference between the two is how the price relates to them. The price doesn't relate to the 200 MA because that's just the surface of the water. It has no heart. It has no brain. It doesn't think about you. If you're under the water, you're drowning. If you're above the water, you're flying. The 200 haul, though, is a friend. It helps the price to move. That is why when it turns up, the price gets a boost of energy and climbs with it. Doesn't have to be in a 200 squeeze. When the price is over the 200 haul and the 200 turns up, that's turbo. You get a boost in the price. That's the difference between the two 200s. But in this case, we're still on top of the 50 between two 200s. Price feels very uncomfortable. To and through the 200, whichever one it was. Coming on down to our 1 hour, 20-day view. Took that big rip from 20 cents to 70 cents down to our 200 with all of our MAs pushing through the 200. The price followed it. Everything now is on the ebb and flow. You see all of our lines are arching back up. Price follows the current. All these lines have a current. Each has its own current. When they all go the same direction, the current's going in one direction. Where's the price going to go if it's a Dixie cup? It's going to go with the current, and it is going. And when it got over top of the MA 200, it got excited. We're now bouncing. You know, we're out from underneath the water, kind of tough to jump and bounce under the water. Up on top, we're running. This looks like it's ready to go, folks. Don't have a lot of volume here to talk about, do we? Now I can actually zoom in on that, see if there is anything hiding in there. We got a little bit of volume in there. Look, see? There you go. There is a little bit of volume in here. She's on the downside right now. Our oscillators are cool. Everything has gone flat right now. There's not a whole lot going on. But all of our MAs are over the 200. The price is over all the MAs. All of that is positive. All of that is good. It's not saying she's ready to run. It doesn't say she's hot. It just says she's not in any bad position. She's in a decent position if something starts up. So we're going to put this on our watch list, and we're going to watch for volume to come in. Taking a look at our 5-day, 5-minute. She's working on an uptrend, isn't she? We got a low bubble here. We're at 27 cents. She hit that high of 48, came down to our 200, which is actually climbing. It's rolling. It's not a steady climb, but it is actually climbing. We're getting volatility, which isn't a bad thing. Big bounces bring big profit opportunities. So we have some very strong roll here. Look at that 200. It's like a biorhythm, right? Very strong. Well, right now it's pushing down. I expect some strong push. I expect the price to come under the 200 right now. But I'm expecting that this is a biorhythm strength. So when it pulls down, it's going to pull right back up. So I'm going to be looking for a bounce, probably somewhere. Let me get my right line somewhere about here. I would expect that, honestly, with this, that is a very strong roll. It's not gentle like these. This is strong. I would expect it to push it down and maybe wick to this. It could hit it, but I expect at least a wick to this and then a push off, and hopefully she'll start to climb again. Oscillators show we are in a bounce area, but nothing is happening right now. It's kind of flat. So I like PSA chart. It looks like something's going on, but there isn't a whole lot going on, right? They're considering a treasury, which will help them. If they get that treasury, I think that'll be good news. I'm hoping that we'll see other biotech pharmaceutical companies start saying the same thing. I would love that. That is the one reason I will not get into research and development biotech pharmaceutical companies. They need too much money. It takes too long. The only time it bounces is when news comes out, and that's normally pre-market. I put out news every morning, and most of the news I put out is about drugs, and these things move fast. And as soon as the bell hits, well, it's been down for so long that as soon as the bell hits, everybody sells and it comes down, and that's it. You got to wait for the next piece of news. So when you get a piece of news about cancer, these can run for days. These are very important, especially when it's talking about people living longer. That's always exciting news. So there is PCSA, and we are at 525. And you know what? I left that up there all that time. Shame on me. I love it, but it shouldn't have been there. John, when you get done here, check out the pillars, SPY. Oh, pillars. That's what I call the wicks that go very, very deep down through many. Let's see here. He's talking SPY, folks. Maybe I can teach you something here because this is a big move for me. Add to stage. Where are you at? Where'd you go? How come I can't get you back? All right. I think I got you. All right. I'm going to go over to the chart and I'm going to see what he's talking about with SPY, because if I can show you a good pillar, I would like to show you a pillar. Why ain't you coming up? Why ain't anything coming up? There we go. Pillars. Ooh, there's some pillars. All right. Let me back this up. I do see them. Oh, beautiful. Thank you, my friend. All right. These wicks, when they go up and down, to me, they are indicators. Here is a perfect pillar. A pillar I'm thinking of as a foundation. When you build a skyscraper, you're going really high. You've got to build a foundation a lot deeper than you build it for your house, right? You don't want this building tipping over. So you got to go really deep in the ground. So now think of that when you're looking at these. The solid bar is your building. The building stays above ground. You don't go burying your building, right? So we want to see the building, the solid bar, stay above the MA. It can be on the MA, but not under it. So we're good here. Both of these are perfect. Then we look at the wicks. The magic wick is the one that goes through many MAs, different types of sediment. This one here went through the 20-day MA and the 200, sand and dirt. This one went through the 50, the 20, and the 200. That is 3 of them. Now, folks, in my mind, I think this is going to jump hard, not just bounce. I think it's going to jump hard. When these wicks bury themselves deep through multiple layers of sediment, but keep the house above ground, you're ready to build. This is my call sign to get in. Once it comes back up over the 50, this comes back up over the 50, I get in right here and I ride that bad boy up. This looks really good. Now, I don't play the SPY, not the stock. I play the options, and I can't do nothing with this after market. So that is a pillar. And for a breakout, I look for this upside down on the 200 squeeze to see the bar go up to the 200, but not go through it. The building stays under it, and it puts like a submarine. Submarine stays under the water and puts a periscope up over it and goes way, way high and then comes right back down. And if the next bar does not go any lower than where that big bar started, it's going to go. It's going to go. I see this happen over and over again. Now, what these really are, folks, truly are fake outs. These are big whalers, hedge funds trying to trick you. They are knocking people out of their plays. These plays here, what they actually do is they push the price down so far that it goes through a lot of people's stop losses. People put their stop losses on supports and resistances. They put their stop losses underneath these MAs. And when you push that all the way down, boom, 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 every stop loss was clicked on and all those shares were released. They bought them up. Boom, 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 boom. They buy all those shares up real cheap. And then they start bidding the price up. After bidding it down, they bid the price up and bring all those cheap shares up that they just bought and then cash them in up here and make money. And it's the same thing the other way around. They push the price up into a bull trap, making you think the price is going to go up and then it comes down. But I look at it completely a different way because the psychology of it is just too much for me to bear up to. Psychology is thick, and that's what the market is all about, psychology. Me, I like to make it a physical thing. I like to think of the 200 MA as the water surface. I like to think of flying, bouncing, kangaroos, birds, current in the MAs, Dixie cups for the price. I make everything physical so I can relate to it. The digital world is difficult. Psychology is unbelievably difficult. So I just like to keep the chart as physical as I can. And that's the way I do it. All right. What time is it? It's 5:30. Did I have any other ones? I did. Oh my God. I got 2 more to go. All right. I've still got a voice here. So I'm going to keep going, folks. If you want to bear up, I'm going to do another one here. We're going to do ticker BGSF. This came from Lee. BGSF. Got it. What do we have here for BGFS? Down, down, down. No peeking at my DVLT. BGSF Inc. is a property management resource and solutions company helping growing apartment and luxury communities as well as commercial properties. Very low daily volume, very low float. Just issued a $2 cash dividend. That I missed. How did I miss that? I'm always looking for special dividends. All right, so let's take a look now at ticker BGSF. BGSF finished today at $3.38. She was down almost 1%, falling about 3 cents. She's on the New York Stock Exchange. Now, this is a company based out of Texas, another American company. Now, this, I don't think they do this anymore, but maybe it's part of what they do. We are a national temporary staffing company that provides temporary workers to a variety of customers that are seeking to match their workforce requirements to their business needs. We have 27 branch offices in 10 states within the USA. However, when I jumped into the news, this particular piece here, their description was different. BGSF is a property management resource and solutions company, and I just read that to you. BSF, but this sounds like they may merge the two ideas together. BGSF offers differentiated advantages to different clients. They do different things for different customers, including supplying trained talent and unique technological platforms that maximize efficiencies in the growing residential and commercial leased property industries. So maybe they do have staff that they help these companies with. Maybe they don't do just that anymore. Maybe they expanded. So looking at the relative volume first for BGSF. Woo! Wakey, wakey. Somebody's asleep. God, for the last 30 days, she's only been doing less than 200,000 shares on the major exchange. Folks, that's getting no attention at all. That's being ignored. On the major exchange, 1 million shares is bad. This is less than that. 63,000 shares today. Looking at the share structure, we've got ourselves a low float. Not that I know what it is, but the outstanding share count is only 11 million. Subtract whatever the insiders own, blah, blah, blah. You know, it could be a lot less, but can't be any more than 11 million. So we've got ourselves a decent float. Market cap, we are currently at about 38 million. If all these numbers are correct, we always presume that. Taking a look at the financials for BGSF, boo, we get nothing. But this I'm used to seeing. This normally comes from foreign companies, not companies based in Texas or America. So I'm not quite sure why we're seeing this. Let's see here, though. I think I had to go way deep. Okay, here's our financial. Just getting the base numbers because obviously it didn't keep any of my, see, not any. It did not keep any of my highlights on these pages. So real quick and easy, current assets, cash and cash equivalents. We do have to add 3 zeros in the thousands. Add 3 zeros here. We have 2 million in the bank. At the end of 2024, we only had $32,000. So we've put a lot of money in the bank since December. We're up there at 2.7 million. Total assets for the company, we are at 149 million. Total liabilities for the company, let's see if I can find that for you here. What? There it is. I knew that was wrong. 71 million. Yep, 71 million, which isn't bad. That leaves us with stockholder equity of $78 million. So we're not holding a bag with this company. Revenues for the company, 13 weeks ended. What do you mean 13 weeks? 26 weeks. Okay. All right, this is going from December to June. They lost money. They went from 25 million down to 23 million. And from year over year, we lost 6 million, going from 50 down to 44. So revenues are dropping a little bit. And that's really all we're going to look there. Let's see what else we can get here from the news. What can we learn there? All right, as I said, they did just have a special cash dividend of $2 per share. I'm not sure what the price was September 11th. We're up at $3.38 now. That would be a great dividend, right? You buy a share for $3.38 and they give you $2 back for every share you bought. Whoa, how many shares would you buy, right? So this was, you had to have the shares bought by the 23rd of September, and they paid you that cash dividend on September 30th. Now, this is very important, and I want you to learn this, folks. When a special dividend comes up, you're going to get cash. It's going to go straight into your account. But I don't want you to screw yourself over. Screw yourself up. When they say the last day to buy is the 23rd of September, it is not the 23rd of December. That is the record date. You have to have your shares on record by the 23rd of September. How do you do that? You got to buy them the day before. It takes 1 day to get your shares on record, right? So if they say the 23rd is record date, you have to buy your shares the 22nd. Even if you do buy them the 23rd, it will not count because they're going to show up on the 24th on record, and you're not going to get any dividend. You won't get it. Now, with a special dividend, if it is over 25% of the price of the stock, the ex-dividend date, which is the date you're allowed to sell your shares and keep the dividend. With most dividends, you can sell the shares before the dividend is given, a day before, or the day. No big deal. With special dividends, you have to wait till after the dividend is paid. Sometimes 1 day, sometimes 3 days, but you've got to wait. If you sell your shares, even after you've gotten your dividend, if you sell your shares before the ex-dividend date, your dividend goes with them. The rights to that dividend go with the shares if you sell before the ex-dividend date. So you must buy a day before the record date, and you must hold your shares until the ex-dividend date to keep your dividends. Got that? Very good. And let's see, the company closed on a divestiture of its professional division in $99 million, all cash deal. So they sold a subsidiary, an asset, whatever it was. They got $99 million for it. And then they are planning a financial call here. They're going to be reporting finances on the 5th of November. That could be a catalyst. I never get in before a financial because it's a gamble. You don't know what's going to happen. And if they file a late filing before they file a financial, I definitely wait until after the financial because those late financial filings cause the stock to bounce around. So I normally wait till after the financials to see what's going on because I don't want to gamble my money. They are going to have a webcast. They are going to have a teleconference. You can tune in, you can dial in. They got all the information here. They're going to be doing that a day later at 9 in the morning the next day. So it will be pre-market that they do that. So that's all the information we've got here about this company. Except for, did we cover everything else? I think we did. That's what happens when you bounce around. 917. Let me take a look at this 8K. It's a little old, but 8Ks can have interesting information because that's that cash dividend right there. $2 per share. Had to have them bought before September 23rd, and it was paid on the 30th. right there. So let's go take a look now at ticker BGSF on our charts. BGSF. What do we got? That's a 5-minute chart looking sad. I thought there was a yearly chart, right? Let's look at our yearly chart. Yearly chart looks better than the 5-minute chart. So we've got a 52-week low here at April of this year, 91 cents. Our 52-week high is just under $8 at $7.83. That's in September of this year. Now, she has been on a downtrend all the way to that low bubble. She fell for 6 months. She hit that low bubble, and that was it. She changed her trend. What does that tell us? Yeah, that's right, Tony. That's right. That the stock has value. If you see a bounce off of a 52-week low fast, the stock's got value. And normally it doesn't just bounce, it keeps climbing. And boy, did this thing keep climbing. She went from 91 cents, pretty much a straight run, right? We had a pull back here to the 50, but look at that bounce. To and through the 200 with a rising 200, right? This all makes sense. You see it over and over again. She ripped here from that 91 cent low up to $5.80. You're looking at virtually 600% run off of a bounce off of a 52-week low. When you see a fast bounce off of a 52-week low, an all-time low, hang with it for a while. It normally will give you a bounce and a little pullback, and then it'll give you a run. And then a little pullback, and it'll give you more run. So watch those 52-week low bubbles, folks. They're grand. Watch for these 200 squeezes. They're grand. Look at that rip to and through the 200. Back down, up and over, sell up here. She's going to bounce. She's going to take off. This is looking good. Now, right now, I don't know why she took this huge fall. That is a huge fall. She hit this high of 783, pulled back, keeping over 50% of that run, which is very optimistic. She's going sideways, starting to push up, looking like she's going to run. I would think she's going to run. Something happened. I don't know what happened. I'd have to do some diving around here, but we fell from $7. I don't know where to say she stopped. I mean, she fell hard initially down to 450 from 7, but she's still falling all the way down to our, well, is it a rising 200? A falling 200? That's why I like changing colors on my 200 haul. There's no guesswork. I know when it's falling because it's purple. I know when it's rising because it's blue. I have a real hard time telling. But what I can say is she's darn near flat. Darn near flat is a token time for a breakout. We just had a initial breakout. She went up. I expect a pullback and bounce. We never had it. Now that's virtually there, but she's still falling. She isn't flat yet. This is all falling. Here we went flat when she hit her high. Now she's come back down. I think we need to tap it. We never got our tap. I don't care how long it is. We didn't get our tap. I think we get this tap. She may take off. This tap is right around $3.20 on our yearly chart. Oscillators all look like they're ready to come up. Everything is just starting to arch right now, except our RSI. Our RSI looks pathetic. Let's see what that would be looking like. Woo! Looks like the price, right? This is as close to the price line as you're going to get if you turn all of these bars into a line. It pretty much looks like that. And it looks like the globe. When you flatten it out, that's kind of what the RSI is, the price flattened out. She's fallen down here to our 200, and we are right over our oversold. She could bounce on that. She could fall. We're watching. That's what we're doing. We're watching right now. We're going to come down to our 6-month, 4-hour view. I think my charts are getting tired too. So there's our low, 91 cents. There's our 200 squeeze. Now look, see when she turned blue. When did this start to break out? As soon as that turned blue, right? That's the turbo boost. Wow. To and through the 200. Then I say she has to calm down. She comes back down to the 200 or just underneath it, and then she'll rip again if she's got the volume. Boy, she had the volume and she had the rip. She went here from $2 to $9. Holy cow, folks. That's over 400% run, 450%. And she came down fast. That's why we sell on green bars. She came all the way back down, initially down to about $5, then fell down to $3. Ultimately, she fell down to $2.50 from $9. Sell as it's rising. Use a market order. It's at $7. You hit your market order, it sells at $7.20. It's rising. Are you sad because you're missing money? Cut it out. You just took gains, for God's sake. Trying to get it all is greedy. Break that habit, folks. Just like winning. Get through the day with 5 wins without wondering how much money you left on the table, and see how freaking great you feel. That's a great thing, folks. Taking money, taking wins, controlling your assets, not losing anything. It doesn't get any better than that. Don't try to get rich all at one time. Do it a little at a time. And if you're young, you've got a lot of time. Quit rushing things, folks. I rushed things when I was younger. I wish I'd have taken my time. You can build a lot if you take your time. Plan what you want to do and work that plan. It works that way with stocks as well. Let's come on down to our 5-day, 15-minute. We're in a downtrend, right? We've hit a low bubble here. Yeah, she bounced off of it, but she didn't bounce and climb, so I wouldn't be considering this no special low bubble. That's a low bubble. That's a low bubble. These are all low bubbles. What makes a low bubble special is what happens after it. 3, 4 bars going across other MAs, bars getting bigger. You can see momentum. You can see a ramp being built. That's what you're looking for. Right now, we just see it sliding downhill, still underneath most of our MAs. And if we come down to let's look at our 1 day, 1 minute. I see no heat. I don't see any heat on this right now. We have no volume really building up. We got a spike here. It did touch the 200. I like to see that. She's a falling 200 being poked on. She is trying to get the price over the 50. She is in a 200 squeeze. So if things turn right and develop, this could pop. But right now, there's just nothing going on. We got popcorn in the pan, but there's no fire underneath. So why do you want to stare at that? All right, that is 5:47. Do I want to do any more? Can I do any more is the question. All right, folks, I'm going to make this to 6 o'clock. Wow, 2-hour video. Unbelievable. That's a Titanic movie. I'm going to do the last one here, folks, because I think there's a lot of people interested in this stock. We're going to look at ticker DVLT. Let me get that up here first. DVLT. I have been in DVLT twice. I bought in. She took gains. I took the gain. She fell. I got back in. I took some gains. I'm back out. She was running the other day, and I thought I was in it. And I was like, oh, yeah. And I went to sell. And I was like, oh, shoot, I forgot to buy it again. It happens. It happens. But I'm real excited about DeVault, Data Vault. I've been calling it DeVault. Data Vault, because there's a lot of people excited about it. Data Vault has been doing a lot of things in the AI arena, but they were doing things before that. And we're going to talk about that. So what information do I have about DeVault? All right, DeVault did a merger with WISA. WISA is a company that deals with wireless sound. They deal with speakers, and they deal with not just wireless speakers, but the quality of sound that's coming out of these speakers. We are talking about sound you probably haven't heard before. We're talking about sound that has frequencies being built into it. They have speakers now, and I don't know if this company does, but they have directional speakers now, folks, that if you can't see the blue circle in the speaker, you can't hear the sound. So the speaker could be very, very loud, pointed that way, 1 inch. I will not hear anything. When you turn it towards me and I see the blue circle, I'm going to hear the sound, but the people sitting next to me will not hear it. That's how special our speakers are getting. We can now direct sound for long distance so it doesn't get distorted going out in the circles like ripples on a pond like we've always had. So they're doing a lot now, and this company is growing with AI doing that. I didn't get too far else. That's as far as I got. And they've got low daily volume. So let's dive into this and get some information about this company. First off, we've got two sites. I've already brought these up so that you can see what we're looking at. They sell lots of different speakers, home equipment. They deal with big venues, sporting events, concerts. They have lots and lots of patents. They have now got different sound. That's the best way I can explain it. The sound has been adjusted by AI. It's like AIDO, audio. I don't ADO instead of audio. It's AIDO, and this is sound that is being manipulated by AI. Like our pictures now are being manipulated by AI. AI is getting involved with everything, and Data Vault is involved with all of that. Now, when you read, now there it is, ADO, patented data over sound. They've got these new sounds that they're working with, but Data Vault themselves are doing all kinds of other things. Let's see if I can get there. We really don't know what they're going to be capable of. They're going to be a data center dealing with AI and lots of different technologies. And basically, they're talking about all of that here. The blockchain, crypto anchors, photorealism, 3D, this new sound with WISA, experimental multimedia. Everything is in the realm of possibilities now, and they are on the verge of doing that. And we don't know where it's going to go. We just don't have any idea. So we don't get a whole lot of specifics here until they start getting contracts. When they start getting contracts with other companies who are asking them to do this particular job, or can you do this for us? Boom, we're going to start stretching the envelope and seeing what these companies working together can do. So DeVault, let's see what she was doing relatively speaking. Volume has fallen. Over the last 30 days, she's been averaging 116 million shares. That sounds awfully high to me. Let's see here. Hey, look at that. It's already here. I'm over here at Yahoo Finance. I'm going to bring up historical data, which will give me all the volume, the high for every day, the open for every day. I mean, it's great. You find a stock that you want information. Are you going to work for me? It's slow. So today we had 39 million. Yesterday we had 66 million. Day before 82, 106, 197 million. That was October 24th. She's been falling back to where she basically started, 32, 38 million just before we had that big push. We're right back to normal volume. Good to know. Taking a look at our share structure for DVLT, making sure the date's right here. We are at about 100 million shares. Seems to me there was something I needed to know about the share structure. Hopefully we'll find it. We're at about 100 million outstanding. Don't know what the insiders own. Don't know what the float is. Can't be over outstanding share count, 97 million. Market cap, that's up there, 260 million, quarter billion. Financials for the company. Something went wrong. Please try again. Doggone it. I wish it had kept all my highlights. And I still haven't found the one I was thinking about. Well, this is the one I had to go way back. Yeah, I remember I had to go way back to find one. That far back. Really? Is that the last 10K? 10Q? It is. Look at all those filings since the last financial. This is the last financial. It is for June. This came out in August. It was late. They put the late filing out on the 14th. That gives them 5 days. They got it out just in time. So let's see what information we can get here. I'm not going to even look for my highlights. I know they're not there. All right, cash and cash equivalents. What do we got here? We got $662,000 in the bank when we had 3.3 million at the beginning of the year. Where'd all that money go? What do we got here for, all right, deposit for business combination. Obviously, the merger happened in this period of time. They got $120 million deposit into the company. Oh, yeah, I didn't know that. Total liabilities, $46 million. That leaves total stockholder equity since that $120 million deposit. Yeah, We're now holding 74 million. But looky here. At the end of December, we had 85 million. So we're actually down. I don't know how that works. So we are not holding a bag. That's the important thing to understand here with this company. Now let's go take a look at the news. Let's see what has got this company moving. What was it? On the 24th is when she had her biggest move for volume, right? So we are back here to October 22nd. Now I was looking. It seems to me, because we have a piece of news here where they mention Nature Miracle. Now, I posted news at 7 in the morning sometime about them doing a three-way deal. Nature Miracle, Wellgistics, and Data Vault. And I cannot find that one piece of news that I was looking for. I was going to attach it here. But the company is doing all sorts of deals for all sorts of things, like I said, discovering what they can do with their AI. They are working with their new sound on a radio station in California, a new type of sound. This is very interesting. They have these inaudible sounds. You're going to have to do some due diligence here, folks. Here's some news that came out October 7th. Then we have a letter of intent to acquire NYIAX, expanding patented information data exchange and commercial footprint. Let's see. Data Vault AI appoints U.S. Navy veteran. They're bringing on some big wigs. We got a piece of news here. Data Vault AI and Wellgistics Health announced plans for pharmacy chain. Now, I think we covered this in a video, it seems to me. They are connecting the manufacturers to the distributors to the customers so that they're all working together so that things move smoother, quicker, faster, and cheaper. And that's all being done with AI. And that's one of the things AI is supposed to be helping with. They are moving their headquarters for Data Vault to Philadelphia. Nature Miracle crowns Data Vault AI with a 35% license royalty and a multi-million-dollar global technology license. Now, I do want to dive into this. I got two paragraphs here from two pieces of news that are very important, and I want to read both of them to you. There's a lot of insight I could go into here, but I think you'll get the gist by the paragraph. Data Vault AI, a leader in patented data tokenization and monetization technologies, today announced that it has entered into a definitive licensing agreement with Nature Miracles Holdings, a sustainable agricultural and environmental technology company. Under the agreement, Nature Miracle will license Data Vault's AI patented carbon credit tokenization system, enabling it to develop, distribute, and commercialize blockchain-powered carbon credit solutions worldwide. This is something they've discovered they can do. The agreement grants Nature Miracles global rights to integrate Data Vault AI proprietary intellectual property, including its issued and pending patents covering the secure tokenization of carbon credits on blockchain infrastructure, into its environmental technology platform. As part of the deal, Data Vault AI will receive a non-refundable license fee of $2 million. So no matter what happens here, the deal could fall through and crash. They get to keep that $2 million. And they get a 35% royalty on all gross revenue generated through the licensed technology. 35%. That is huge, folks. So they're working with carbon credits for this company. Got a wild hair in my face. You wonder where it came from, right? The only reason I don't grow a mustache is because I can't stand hair in my mouth. I can't, and there's just too much encroaching on it right now. And I just can't handle anything more. That's why. I'm not Amish. I'm not Amish. I haven't got anything against them. I don't think they're dirty or filthy. I just hate hair in my mouth. And that's as far as we're going to go with that comment. The other piece of news I want to dive into came out 2 days ago. Data Vault AI acquires API Media in an all-cash transaction. Again, reading a paragraph. Technology provider API selects Data Vault AI to continue building its leading culture of tech innovation. Data Vault AI, a leader in patented data tokenization and monetization technologies, today announced that it has entered into a definitive acquisition agreement to acquire API Media in December of this year. Through API's strength of technology culture and seasoned leadership team, Data Vault AI and API will enhance enterprise data activation, expand AI-powered capabilities, and drive new monetization opportunities across global markets. The API brand will remain, and operations will be enhanced with the addition of patented capabilities and technologies developed and patented by Data Vault AI. I don't know how many patents Data Vault AI has, but you hear everybody talking about them. API Media, headquartered in New Jersey, is a leading provider of an innovative audio and visual technology and IT service for large sporting events and enterprise clients. API's clients include some of the most prestigious and sought-after sports venues and events, made possible through a dedicated and customer-first culture cultivated over decades. The acquisition marks a decisive next step in our strategy to scale Data Vault's proprietary data monetization ecosystem. So here's something to do with sporting events and big events, maybe concerts and stuff, where they're going to be tokenizing things. Tokenizing means you get to own a portion of something. A token isn't something you actually hold. It's not a physical item, but it is a digital item. You could actually probably get a printout of it. And this gives you rights and ownership to a portion of something, maybe a building, a team, a record, a song, anything. And that's what NTFs were all about. They were tokenizing, monetizing assets so that you could own a portion of it. And that is what we are doing more and more and more of. Soon, you're going to be able to sell your personal data, your data. People won't just take it. They'll have to pay you for it. If a person wants to use your image, they got to pay you to use a picture of you. Everything is going to be monetized. Everything. All right. Is there any other news? No. Did we cover all this stuff? Yes. Did we get over here? Uh-huh. But there's a lot more. There's lots of filings over here, right? So you're going to want to dive into these, each and every one of them. Which one is this? Data Vault AI entered into a securities purchase agreement to where they agree to sell 1.4 million shares at 34 cents a share. So they're going to get some money. They're also going to put more shares on the market, which is going to cause dilution. Anytime somebody makes a big investment into the company, chances are there's dilution for us as well. The company's making out, but the investor has to pay for it in a small way usually. So I'm going to let you do all the due diligence on all of these. There's lots of them here, and you should get used to reading these, folks. You really should. There is a ton of information in there that can really help you. So let's go take a look now at DVLT while I've still got a voice. And I don't think I lost you once. Oh, I put up my dark picture. Wow, look at how dark I am. I'm just looking at the screen. All right, so 1 minute. We're in a downtrend. What about the 1 year? That's a 1 hour. That's an uptrend. Let's go to the 1 year. Ooh, that looks different, don't it? You couldn't see that on the 1 hour or the 1 minute. So our 1 year chart has been in a downtrend. It's been slow, not too aggressive, but boy, when she took off, when she broke out, she just didn't turn back, did she? She just kept going. We haven't even had a tap on the 200. The initial breakout, we never got it. You normally do. I'm going to say 7 out of 10 times, maybe more than that. Didn't get it here. So we were over the 200, which was our 52-week high before this all happened. Our high here was at about, where are we at? $2.60, just poking over a falling 200. Minding our P's and Q's, we came back down underneath it, falling down to our 52-week low of 25 cents. Off of that low, what do we got? It's not an instant bounce. Took a day. We got another red bar there, but that red bar was squeezing. It was getting small, so it was bouncing. The very next bar is a big green bar. Then a whole bunch of green bars crossing all of the MAs. Bars getting bigger and thicker till she got on top of the 50-day MA with our 200 turning blue and the price then shooting to and through the 200. God, do I sound like a robot? It's the same thing over and over, folks. And that's what makes trading fun, because you know what to expect if you know what to look for. When you find what you're looking for, you make a plan, you set up, and you get those gains over and over and over again. You don't have to get creative. You don't have to keep looking for new things. Just find that same setup over and over again. Get rich. Wash, rinse, and repeat. Get rich. So off of this, we climbed from 25 cents to $4.10. That is 1,600% run. Now that went from the beginning of September till now. So you'd had been very, very patient. As scalpers, as momentum traders, I don't hold very long. I don't know how much you sell, but there was some good gains to be gotten there. Now, what I do like to do, if I get into a stock, say I buy 1,000 shares of it and it goes up, say 150%, I will sell 120. What I'll do is sell half. I'll get back all my money and some gains, and then I'll let those shares that were free stay. I won't take that. I got some gains out of it. I got my money back, and I think the stock is strong, so I'll just let those free shares sit there, and I won't even monitor them. I don't let them become a weight on my shoulders. They're free. I'm just going to let them sit. Maybe they sit for 3 months. Maybe they sit for 3 years. I don't know. Back during COVID, I was doing this, and I ended up with 26 stocks that I had earned free shares on. I took gains, took all my money back, and had lots of free shares. And I didn't look at any of them until I tried to buy a house during COVID, which failed miserably and really hurt me bad. I sold all those stocks. I sold all my green stocks. Really hurt myself bad. But they were way up. Oh my God, I think I was like 500% up on all my free shares. When you added them all up, I was 500% up, and I wasn't even paying attention to them. Those were free shares. So in this case, I might just grab some free shares and just let them sit there with a company that is growing like this. I expect this company is probably going to be pretty big. AI is going to be pretty big, and we just have no idea how big it's going to be. So let's come on down now to our 6-month, 4-hour view. That's still looking good. We do have a trend change. She was falling, 200, flat 200 here. She took a break trying to get sneaky. She did jump good. She went from 68 cents to $1.43, right? That's 125% run. Came back down underneath the 200, hitting that low, working her way back up slow and steady, methodically. We got a step, a step, boom, big one. Now, folks, I have a pattern. I wonder if I could show that to you here. Can you see this? You can. Can you see this? You can. Okay. I want to bring you over to this. I'm going to show you something. What is it I want to show? Yeah, I had to think about where it was. I have a lot of stuff I like to share, and I just collect it up to share it with people. And I've got something here that shows what happens during a parabolic move. When a chart starts to go parabolic, there is a pattern that you can use to watch and set up with. I'm going to share it with you right now. I've got 2 of them here. One is red, one is blue, right there. That's it right there, folks. So you'll have a base 1, base 2, base 3, right? And then at the end point of base 3, indicated by that X right there, the stock could double in the shortest period of time. Boom, you get a huge jump here, then it goes sideways, and then you get the parabolic jump. And normally what you've got here is a Fibonacci going from 0% to 100%, and then once it goes over that, it moves so bloody quick to 161%. The next line up, there's no other lines, and the chart will move like that. So 1, 2, 3, boom, 4, off to the moon. And that's what I'm looking at here. That's what I see. Boom, 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 right? 1, 2, 3, and you get a big jump and then a giant jump. This is a big jump, and that's a giant jump. And then she gets volatile. Volatility means you want to watch her. When you get bounces up and down, when you get big W's on the board like that, which is a double bottom, W for winner. At the end of the W, we look for a push up. We did get a push, wasn't as big as we wanted, but we had a pullback and a run after it, and she just kept going. There's lots of volatility in this stock. This stock has got lots going for it. New contracts, new money, new sound. I think this is a company that is going to be good short term, good for scalping, good for long term, good for swings. I really like DVLT. I think there's a good reason everybody's excited about it. So let's see here. Let's come on down to our, how about the 30-minute view? All righty. Now we're starting to roam around the page, right? We're down here at $1.58 to $4, down to $2.59, right in the middle. She's just roaming around now, trying to figure out what she's going to do. All of our oscillators are bouncing. She's rolling, but she's not really getting anywhere now. It looks like we're on an uptrend. If I come back an hour, are we actually on an uptrend? We are. Yep, we're on a rolling uptrend. The 200 is rolling uphill. I like that. Our low bubble's on this side, high bubble on this side. This is looking good. That's what we want. Nice roll, because if she's just inching up like this, you really can't do any scalping, right? You need some of this. You want to surf, you need waves. Yeah, it's nice to have a stock that's growing slowly. I do like dependability. I like to get into stocks that are moving slow so I can make money while I'm playing other stocks. But I'm always looking for stocks that have volatility, and this has got lots of volatility. Big jumps. We got a head and shoulders here. It's not straight. There's a shoulder. There's a head. There's a shoulder. Boink, 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 boink. And then a fall. After a head and shoulders, you normally get a fall. Right now, she looks like she could be coming back up. Lots of volatility. Lots of reasons to watch her. This stock deserves to be on your watch list all the time. Just keep it on your watch list. And when you see volume come in, look, when volume comes in, she runs. She runs pre-market. She runs aftermarket. She runs during the day. She has big pops. She has big drops. There's a lot going on with this stock. I'm going to put this one on my watch list, and I'm going to keep it there. So there we go, folks. 2 hours. I do believe that is the longest I have ever gone. I'm about ready to crack up here. There's only so much data that I can hold. I'm trying to figure out how to get back to you. Am I back? Are we here? I've been gone for so long. Oh my God. And things have changed here. I don't know how to get back to what I was doing. All right. All right, folks. Let's see what you were talking about. David, good to see you. SNR, John. SNR. What's that up there for? Oh, I don't. What's this? There. This thing's doing stuff I'm not familiar with. So I'm sorry. SNR, John, get that off there. That's a $4 pillar. LPB, glad to have you here. Right. All right, folks. I am burned out now. I am. I'm at the point where my brain just isn't making connection. I'm not thinking. I can't see the buttons properly. I've gone way beyond my breaking point. I do appreciate you being here. I hope I shared something that made sense to you. Hopefully I shared something about the stocks, something about trading. I know there was a lot of you that brought stocks to me today that I didn't get to. I apologize, folks. Best I can say is I do this every Thursday. And I put out the announcement that I'm going to be doing this at 12 o'clock on Thursdays, noon. So that gives you 4 hours to drop your ticker. You can drop it on Discord. You can just say, hey, John, can you look at blah, blah, blah. You don't have to go over here to drop it. You can drop it on Google. You can talk to me over at Twitter. I don't care. Just get with me, man. Send it to me in the mail. You get me a ticker before 4 o'clock. I'll try to get it on the radar, right? Once I get that done, it seems like I'm not able to get to the stuff that you guys are bringing in during the show. So maybe I'll have to change the name of the show, huh? Because I'm not getting to anything live. This is pre-DD, not due diligence on the spot. Used to be. I used to have help too. All right, folks, I am out of here. It's late. What time is it? 6:14. Oh my God, and I can't even see now. Where'd you guys go? I'm lost. I'll see you guys next week. 4 o'clock. Probably won't be this long though. See ya. I'm out of here. I'm out of my mind. I told